The big debate of the hour.
James, get us started here.
It has started. I mean,
Let's hear it.
okay, what? Okay, I need
I mean, my headline is that the man is just an athletic guy.
dive into that. What
All
is,
right, we
flesh
gotta.
that out for us.
All right, where do I start? Where do I start? I'll start with the issues that I have with the man. Defense is lacking. I will say he has picked up his defense this year, but it has lacked so bad. Like when you go back to that 21-22 playoff run, he was giving up a lot of drives, a lot of points that he shouldn't have. And maybe he's like, oh, I've got the defensive player of the year down there. I can do what I want, but it didn't really work. Um, oh yeah, I better give you time to rebuttal everything I say.
Yeah. Oh, well, he like you said, working on his defense this year. So he's gotten a lot better. He's gotten a lot better on the defensive side of the ball. He has a lot more hustle. He's not sitting back and he's not arguing with the refs as much as he used to. He's actually getting back on defense. He's putting a little bit more effort into the defensive side of the ball, which is very good for a fan to see. I like defense. Having Jaron Jackson Jr. on my team makes me really like defense. I love watching defense. Um, where we John Morant, he definitely is, like I said, not the best on the defensive side, but also he does have Jaron Jackson Jr. He has a lot of good defenders behind him that he is not necessarily need to be that top defender, always trying to get the steals because he's got people like Jaron Jackson Jr. Jalen Wells has been really good on the defensive side of the ball this year. Zach Edey's down low. Like you got a 7 footer in the paint. He's got a lot of things behind him that he knows his people got him. You know, he knows that the people behind him are going to be able to help him stop a drive to the basket if he needs.
All right.
If we didn't clarify beforehand that Dallas is our resident Grizzlies fan, and then Landon is our John Morant hater. So
Yes.
need to make sure that's clear. But go ahead,
And
Landon.
to
What were
make
you
it
gonna say?
clear, I'm not only a John Morant hater. I am an athletic player hater. Like this same thing would happen if he was an Anthony Edwards fan. Yeah, I would go down the same path.
You feel the same way about John Morant that you do Anthony. Okay.
I
This
feel
this
all not identical. There's different reasonings, but yes, I like it's kind of the same thing. Like there's a lot of similarities there.
interesting. Interesting. All
Um,
right.
my next take is that John Morant is a bad shooter, and that he's shooting a career low percentage this year, and he ranks 17th among point guards in field goal percentage this season.
Ooh,
He's not a 3-point shooter. That's for sure. We've known that for a long time. He's not a 3-point shooter. But he has been shooting better. Now this year it's a little bit different. He's not shooting as well. I think that's just because, he had 9 games last season. He's hasn't it's kind of like he's coming off of not playing for a year. Really, yeah, you had the suspension, you had the injury. It was all he didn't play for a while there. So the shooting percentage, yeah, I see that. It's not as good as it used to be, but he'll bounce back from it. He's not gonna this is not anything, devastating for us, seeing as we're still one of the top teams in the league and he's still producing. Like he's still averaging 20 points a game. He's dishing out 7 assists every game, which also, in my opinion, the Grizzlies have a better chance of winning when John Morant's dishing out assists rather than when he's scoring 50 points. So I like to see that high assist total. I don't like to see I like to see the 50-point games, but when he's dishing out assists, our team is so much better, and it's very like when John Morant has 2 assists, we usually lose. When he has 7, 8, we usually win. So I'm okay with the shooting percentage.
I'm glad you brought up assists because he is having his lowest assist season since 2021.
He's averaging 7.4 assists, which is actually right on his average for his career,
It is
which
right on his average. It is right on his
is right
average.
on his average. Um, but if you look around, Like, yeah, he's having one of his lower assist seasons, but he dished out like 11 a few nights ago. He dished out 9 the other day. Like, he's still putting up, like, I want to see 7 to 8. That's what I want to see, and that's what I'm seeing, which is perfect because if you look, Jaron Jackson Jr. is an all-star, which is beautiful. Beautiful. John Morant's assists create Jaron Jackson Jr. as an all-star. That's where I stand. Him, Ja, and Desmond Bain should have all been in the All Star game, but it's fine.
Yeah, we'll get into some All Star snubs at some point. Probably the next, like, I'll get into some All Star snubs because like Desmond Bain, John Morant, Jaren Jackson Jr., Norman Powell. Like, there's so many guys that should have been in it that weren't. But back to the let's see. I'm thinking like probably my biggest thing is his decision making. He has had a career high in turnovers. He ranks third amongst all players um, under the height of 6'5" in turnovers this season. Mainly guards, which they pass more, they dribble more, which makes sense. But he's at a career high. But I think like point 0.3 or point 0.4. I think 21, 22. He had 3.6 and he has 3.9 this year.
Yeah, the turnover rate needs to go down. It's the whole team has had problems with turnovers this year. I've watched we've played I don't know how many games we've played. I don't know how many games that we've played this season, but I've probably watched at least 40 of them. I watch a lot of Memphis Grizzlies basketball, and it's been all season. That's Turnovers have been killing us all season, and so it's not just John Morant. That's something that is a struggle over the entire team, and it has been he has been more reckless with the ball. But I think he's getting to a point in his career where he's starting to mature a lot. He's not trying to make the flashy play. Neither is Desmond or Triple J. Our three core guys, all working on trying to get better. We're not really seeing it this year, but like I think a lot of the struggles that John Morant's having this season is coming off of the shoulder surgery and being out for an entire season. I think that contributes to a lot of it this season, in my personal opinion.
Yeah. And I think like my last like huge argument is spacing troubles. Just because he has lost. I'm not gonna say he lost his shot completely because he can still step up. He's still a very clutch player. He can still hit the shots when he needs to. But him mainly being an inside the arc player, on top of Jaron really still trying to figure out his spacing, it does cluster up a lot, especially with Edie in the game because Edie has no shot whatsoever and he has no business shooting. Um, it
We
just
need him.
puts a lot of pressure if you say you have Edie Jackson and Jaw in the game at the same time. It puts a lot of pressure on Bane, um, Aldama, and guys like that to like stay out of the way, be open, put shots up.
See, what I have, yeah, I can see what you're saying there, but John Morant he doesn't need space for him to make his shots.
That
What he's
valid.
doing is when he is when he drives to the paint, if you watch the film, every single person on the team, if they're saying say we're setting up, everybody you've got what we got it's four on the perimeter, you got one inside, something typical, and John Morant's driving to the paint, all five of the guys on the other team are making a move towards the basket. They're not trying to like necessarily go there to try and stop him. They're just trying to get in his way, which opens up his teammates on the perimeter, because on the perimeter it's it's kind of a tactic that they use. Is what it seems like to me. They use the everybody's gonna try and stop John Morant from driving to the hoop. So you put Santi Aldama in one corner, Luke Kennard in one corner, and you got Desmond Bain at the top of the key. You know, you dish it out to one of those people, they're making a 3-point basket.
Yeah.
So I think the spacing isn't really an issue for me because John Morant doesn't need it, and he uses the lack of space in the paint to his advantage.
All right.
So do you have like so Dallas? What's your argument like? where do you think Ja Morant ranks like among like NBA players at the moment? Like top
Right now,
10, like yeah.
right now, I would say right now he's not playing as a top 10 player. He's not playing as it. But I think he deserves more to be what they put him at like 35 in the preseason rankings. He deserves to be in the top 15 at least.
I think
At least
I say borderline top 15 for me. My biggest problem, it's not putting him high on player rankings, it's putting him as high as 2 and 3 and even 4 and 5 on point guard rankings. Like I can easily, in my opinion, I could easily put 4 to 6 players above him in point guard rankings.
Mm. What do you
Like
say to
I
that, Dallas?
I don't he's definitely not the number one point guard in the league. I'm not gonna come out here. I'm not gonna say Ja Morant is the best point guard in the league. He's nothing like that. No, he's definitely not. But he's got to be in at least your top five, just because the numbers don't say it, but if you actually watch the game, you see it. His season is not a numbers season this year. It is a you got to watch the game and look at the things that don't make the score sheet. You
yeah.
know, he is one of those players this year because he doesn't have to be. The emergence of Jaren Jackson Jr. and Desmond Bain has been beautiful for this team this year.
Yeah.
They're not pretenders like you have said in the past.
Yeah, I'll give you the point guards that I put above him and my reasoning for it. Luca and Shea, I don't think I really have to put a reason at putting those two above him. Steph, I'm really going to put him there because of his shooting, because of his lack of a surrounding core, and because of his clutch factor.
All
Um,
right.
Jalen Brunson, just because of his production, his availability, he can play 40, 45 minutes a game every game, year in, year out, and never has to worry about being off the court. Um, And then I'm gonna give two that are kind of borderline. You could honestly switch them with Ja for me. It just depends. They're all three inconsistent players. They're all three not available all the time. But like Lamelo and Cade, just because of what they have, what they deal with, and what they're able to do with their limitations.
Yeah. I can see that. I still think John Morant sits right at that. When I say top five, I think he's right at five. I do. I don't think he's 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. He's definitely sitting right at five. But I would still put him in the top five point guards. But yeah,
Like I'm not gonna go as
No.
far to say like there are people that hate him worse than I do that are saying Halliburton, Maxey, Fox, Trey Young, uh, and Dame is still better than John Morant, and that's not true at all. I can firmly say that there are clear four best point guards in the league, and it's going to be hard to cap that four spot unless you make a huge leap. And then you've got those 3 or 4 guys that are next, and then there's a huge fall off.
yeah, for sure, for sure.
Yeah, Dame definitely has not had that good of a year to be better than Ja. I mean, for sure. There's no way.
Everybody is looking. If you take a glance at John Morant right now, if you're just going through and you're looking at the stats and stuff like that, you're gonna think, "Oh, he's playing terrible this year." But if you actually look at the things, look at what's going on in the actual games, the Grizzlies are more worried about winning as a team this year than they are
Mhm.
about making one player their superstar.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They are way more focused on winning, and you see that in the way that they're being coached and the way that they're handling themselves, which
and
is
you
one for me to see as a fan.
and it's one of those things that you're seeing from a lot of teams, and it's bringing a lot of success. You see it in Cleveland. They don't like Donovan Mitchell's their clear star, but they're not going out of their way to make him look good. Same thing with the Rockets. They're not going out their way to make Jalen Green look good. Um, and even some of the lower teams like the Magic don't go out of the way to make Paolo look good. I mean, he's been out for most of the season, and they've still been able to
Yeah,
get in the top 7 of the East. Um, and I think that's a big problem in Milwaukee outside of the injuries is they're trying so hard to make everybody believe that Giannis is still the top guy in the league when he's not that. Like he could be, but he's not right now because there are so
yeah.
many guys that have better production. Um,
Talking about the Grizzlies owning the Bucks.
we don't need to talk
Oh
about
yeah,
that.
you sent me that.
We don't need to talk about Dame. I see James is gonna hate me for saying this, but I think the Bucks would be better off if Dame had never come to Milwaukee.
I mean, honestly,
Dame doesn't come to
he's not
Milwaukee,
done.
we don't lose Drew Holiday, and Drew Holiday is the best defensive point guard ever.
Yeah, I mean, it's been sad. The Dame's really not done anything
No,
at
nothing.
Milwaukee.
He's won a 3-point contest.
Yeah, that's about it. I mean, I completely agree with you. Sadly, I hate to say it, but it's
Are you
true.
watching the 500?
Yeah, I'm watching the 5. It's getting pretty well. Kyle's
Well,
up
good.
front.
It's your
He's
turn to
leading
talk
right
about the.
now.
It's your turn to talk about the 500. Go.
Oh, we're not done here. We're not done.
Oh, are we not done with it?
I had one
I'm
more.
done with my Morant debate.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So, Landon's main argument is that Morant is only athletic. What do you say to that, Dallas?
I don't see how you can be just so athletic and not be a good basketball player, right? Also, there's no way that someone can make the shots that Ja Morant makes by just being athletic. He has to have some skill. He has to be good at the game to be able to do the things that he does. Because not every person is going to just spin around a defender and lay the ball up in. Not every player in the league is going to be 6'3" and go up and dunk on a 7'3" guy, or whatever their measurements are. I can't remember how tall Wimby and Ja are, but like you can't call him just athletic when he does so many other things that so many other players can't do. I know Steph Curry is not dunking on Victor Wembanyama, and like
Yeah.
there you can't call him, you can't just be like, oh, he's just athletic when being athletic is a part of being good, you know. So
Yeah,
that's my
and
take on that argument.
I will say that him being athletic is what makes him the player he is. You take away his athleticism, he's probably not in the NBA at all. Um,
Yeah.
but you take away those other aspects of his game, and you just get that. You take away the basketball aspect of his life, and he's just a track guy. He's just a track star. So, like they do work hand in hand, and I get where you're coming from. Um, I'm just kind of saying, like I guess me saying that he's just athletic is the problem. He is more athletic to me than he is a great basketball player. He is a very, very good player, but I think he's more athletic than he is a basketball player.
All right. All right. I don't know. I don't know. It's an interesting take. I've never heard somebody in all my debates with my friends at the lunch table in high school. It's just I've never heard that he's just athletic. It's interesting. I've never heard that before. So I'm
Yeah,
kind of
it
like
is. When I heard it, I thought it was kind of wild too. I'd never.
it's interesting. I respect it because I can see it. I just don't fully understand it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
We
I
like
end the debate on a confusing note because we don't really know how to answer it.
there's no.
I'd say
I don't
it's
even know if there's a winner to this debate.
no. I
no, not
mean,
really. I just need you to realize that the Grizzlies have a very, very good chance at being in the NBA Finals this year. Very,
They do.
very good chance. They are not a pretender. They are not a pretender. They are a contender. And I will
yeah, I
stand
feel
by
like
that.
teams that are pretty
Until we
good.
lose in the first round, and then I'll just go hide in a hole. But you
They
know
Yeah,
what?
they 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 are the only ones that can prove me wrong.
Yes, they are the only ones that can prove it.
I like teams a lot that work together and don't try to have one superstar. Like teams that really play as a team. I mean,
That's why
that's
I'm
really
starting to. That's why the Knicks are growing on me. That's why the Rockets are growing. That's why the Piston. That's why I like the Pistons right now. Like those teams that they're focused on defense. They're not focused on putting up the most points. They're not focused on having that one guy that they have to rely on. They can put the ball in any of the five players' hands and win a game.
Also, the Grizzlies did have a top five offense and a top five defense. So they are very good on both sides of the ball
yeah.
as a team collectively. So they're I don't know if they're still there now, but they were at one point. They're the only team to not score 100 points in every single game this season. So they can score the ball and they can defend. So it's very exciting time to be a Memphis Grizzlies fan. But also, I'm a Reds fan, and it's an exciting time to be a Reds fan as well. And as a Reds fan, whenever we hear that, we know that's not good news. So,
Yeah.
you know,
It'll be,
we'll see what happens. But right
yeah,
now, I'm excited. We'll see how We'll see how that changes in the
yeah, I
months.
know you're a Cowboys fan too, so excitement, with the Cowboys can sometimes mean a first round
It's
playoff exit.
it's a rough. I have a rough sports life, guys. I have a rough sports life. It's hard. It's hard.
Were you a
I
Grizzlies
mean, I,
fan during the grit and grind era?
I will say I was not. Ja Morant is the reason that I am a Memphis Grizzlies fan because I wanted to go to Murray State when I was younger. That was my dream college, and my dad one day was like, "Hey, there's this dude playing basketball for Murray State who's like gonna go draft. He's probably gonna get drafted like second overall." I was like, "That's really cool." He's like, "They're playing at EKU in a couple weeks. You want to go?" Yup. We went. I watched him play in college against EKU. I think he had like 30 something points, and I was like, "Whoever drafts
yeah,
this kid, that's my team. Whoever drafts this kid." So
that's pretty
that's
cool.
how I became a Memphis Grizzlies fan.
I can't hate on.
The NBA was the only s- sports league I was not into, or like just like you grew up. I grew up as a fan of the Reds and the Cowboys. Didn't grow up as a fan of the Grizzlies. That just became my team. So that's the
Thankfully,
only.
you're not a bandwagon fan, so I only hate on bandwagon fans.
Yeah, no,
So
definitely not a
are
band.
you gonna hate on me when Giannis leaves the Bucks and I become whatever a fan of the Lakers because that's where Luka's at? So
Maybe.
When Giannis leaves the Bucks, I will forever hold a special place in my heart for the Bucks. But I've said this before. They let go of Larry Sanders. They let go of Brandon Jennings. They let go of Monte Ellis. They're gonna let go of Giannis. They let go of Drew Holiday. Every player that I've ever loved on this team that have brought us glory, they've gotten rid of. Once they do it to Giannis, I'm done. Wherever Giannis goes, wherever Jalen Brunson is, or wherever Luka is, one of those three teams, it's mine.
Very bad. The NBA is more of a player, like you're more connected to the player than you are a team league.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to see the Knicks win a championship. I want to see Jalen Brunson win a championship.
Also, I mean that I. Oh, go ahead. You're good.
Nope, you're good.
What? No, Dallas, go. I was gonna end the debate. I didn't know if we were done yet.
Oh, I was just saying, I definitely if once Ja Morant leaves Memphis, I probably will still I guess I will still be a fan of the Memphis Grizzlies and I'll still root for them. I'll definitely be rooting for Ja to win a championship wherever if he ends up anywhere else. But I think coming from being a mostly baseball fan of my entire life, I'll probably still stay pretty loyal to the Grizzlies just because as a baseball fan, you stay more connected to the team than you are a player. So I have that experience of being behind just a team than just a player. So we'll see what happens when Morant leaves the Grizzlies, but we'll see.
Yeah, that'd be crazy if he leaves there. Hopefully
I
not
hope
soon.
not. I need Jaren, John, Des to be Grizzlies their entire careers. I
Yeah,
just need those three together, and I'll be okay. We can get
need
rid
a
of.
ring too.
I need those three together
Yeah, those three getting a ring. That'd be pretty cool.
this year.
I was impressed with a civil debate. You guys didn't really get into it. We had a
We're
kind of
not.
a
We're
civil
before
argument.
you got in the Discord, we had a civil conversation.
We said it. We got on even ground. We're like, all right, this is
We
where we're
set a
coming from.
tone. We knew what was gonna happen. We were ready for
Yeah.
it.
That's good. I'm proud of you guys. That was pretty good. So that'll conclude our John Rant debate for
Yeah, I'm
today.
not